actually, this is how we plan for obstacles. Take a look at everything that took place last quarter and think about everything that randomly came up. Write that down. How much did that cost you? Was it time or was it money? Write those things down and have a safekeeping of knowing that these things can come up. And when these things do come up, I will not stop and or halt my 90-day plan. I will pivot and adjust my plan accordingly. And welcome to Financial Freedom Savers Conversations on Thursdays. I know the last couple Thursdays I have not been as active as I would have loved to. Life kind of life. However, I was still posting in the group to keep engaging in conversations going. So happy to have saw most of you all there, still commenting and interacting with one another and keeping hope alive. I have actually been looking really forward to today's topic and going over it. My goal as always is to wrap it up within 30 minutes, but I think the depth of this one may last a little longer just because of the information that I think I'll be providing. So this week was talking about forward planning and pretty much like putting a plan in place to be able to kind of like take over and visualize your finances, putting a plan in place to know where your money is going. So we asked a couple questions in regards to kind of if nothing changed from now until June, what would be the reason why nothing changed? We also asked kind of more questions around what's one change that you could make that could benefit your finances going forward. So on today's live, we are going to be talking about creating a 90-day money plan. And the reason why I suggested the 90-day money plan is because it gives you time to be able to put things in place to see what works and what doesn't work. And then it also gives you the idea of just kind of like having given it a shot. And most things state that habitual habits are created within 30 days. So once you're able to do it for 1 month, you should be able to kind of like replicate the activity or the act to be able to keep it going for the longevity. And also 90 days, give or take, is about a quarter, which is 3 months. And that's what's coming up. We are coming up on Q2. So while Q1 may have looked a little sketchy for you, we are interested in the idea of how to better ourselves for Q2, because as I always say, the idea behind money is that nothing is perfect. There's no perfections in money, but we want to be able to kind of make adjustments along the way to get us further than we started. So if we know better, we do better. If we have the information, then we have a source and resource that can be beneficial to helping us when it comes to putting practices and plans into place. So one of those things are creating the 90-day money plan. So the reason why I wanted to do this is because the 90-day money plan helps you give clarity. So most people feel stuck because they don't know. And as I said earlier, and when you don't know something, you're not inclined to act upon it because you lack the knowledge. So we're going to start by giving you a clean foundation. Over the last 3 months, I've been able to share resources, tools, and information from budgeting, credit, tax information, things of that nature to help you kind of like further your understanding and or basis of finances. And so today we're going to kind of take that a little deeper, and I'm going to work with you all to help kind of set in place your 90-day money plan. So this helps with identifying what you're working towards, how much you may need, and then how to also break that down. And so the 90-day plan answers the question of what am I doing right now? So what is it that I'm looking to do in my finances? What am I wanting to do? How will this help me? How will this benefit me? How will this set me a little bit forward? Because ideally, the idea with money is obviously we utilize it as a tool and resource to get us further in life, get us ahead in some way, shape, or form. So with this idea of knowing where our money is going, we're putting into practices and things into place to giving us the visualization of what am I doing right now? What am I doing different from last quarter that I'm doing this quarter? How am I taking my money by the reins and being able to kind of give it those duties, give it the jobs, give it the tasks, so that I'm more aware, so that I now know how my money's living for me and what's going on. The idea behind the 90-day money plan also creates focus. So instead of trying to save, trying to pay off, trying to invest, and trying to budget, it gives you one goal to focus on. So while all of those things are important, we have to realize that whenever there's too many options on the opportunities in the atmosphere, there's not enough space in our plate for that one option that we need. So this idea takes the opportunities that we have between saving, investing, paying off debt, and budget, and takes one of those. You just pick one and make it the option that you're going to work with. And the idea is that this one primary goal is where you begin to see the progress, because whenever you take your mind off of 5 different things and place them on one thing, you're now focused. You now have the intent, you now have the clarity that you're needing, and you now begin to build on consistency, which is next. Part of this, or what this plan will be doing, is building on consistency. It's introducing 1 or 2 habits that can assist you with making sure that you're doing your check-ins, or making sure that you're staying on the course. So they're like internal check-ins that it could be, physical check-ins that you may need to write down. In some way, shape, or form, you're now holding yourself accountable. Because as I always say, money is about building the consistency, whether it's saving $5 every paycheck, or saving $50 every paycheck, or saving $1 every paycheck. Whatever the ideal is, once you have the consistency behind it, then it begins to grow. You begin to grow your money, you begin to grow your savings, you begin to pay down debt. All of that matters with consistency. Similar to compounded interest. As if anyone knows, the compounded interest effect is whenever you put $1 in, you get a little bit of interest, now you have $1.15. Next month you put another $1 in, now you have $2.15. When the interest comes in, now you have $2.20. So instead of the 15 cents that you received the interest the first month, you now have 17 cents. So now the idea is that the money is increasing. So the idea of consistency is that you're creating habits that are consistently being done. They're not meant to be perfect, but they're meant to continue happening over time. It trains discipline without being overwhelmed. So it puts you in the mindset that I can do this. It's not that many tasks. It's not that outside of the box that I'm going to be completely lost and left to defend myself. However, whenever you put these things into place, it helps you with understanding that, hey, I have this 90-day money plan. Within this plan, my goal is XYZ. The 2 tasks that I'm going to be supportive or have, keep me in check is XYZ. And we'll go over that shortly. The next step is it's making money feel manageable. A lot of people feel like that because they don't know what to do with their money, or they don't have enough money. There's the idea that you don't know what to do with it. You don't have a space for it. You have too many expenses and not enough money to come in. But with putting this plan into play, it helps you visualize every single thing that you have coming in, and being able to pick one set goal and focus on that primary goal. So we've already identified budgeting, which could also be something that you could do within this 90-day plan, but you've already identified what your budget is, and now you're looking to do with what additional funds that I have, how can I make this happen? How can I spend 90 days focusing on this one set goal to be able to achieve my purpose? And the identity shift, which this is the biggest idea of them all, and I think this matters the most simply because you're taking it from this is just an idea to I've done this. So you start the beginning of April. Let's just say we start on April 1st. You start April 1st with the idea oh, I want to pay down my debt. So with the idea I want to pay down my debt, it's just an idea. It's on your plate. It's something that you want to do. But because you're taking the efforts and the actions of the 90-day plan, at the end, you've paid down your debt. It may not be all the way. However, you've paid down more this month than you did the last 3 months. So you're being more intentional about the action. So you have the mindset and identity that I can now do these things. Money things aren't hard. They're just, I didn't know them at the time, so I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how to practice it. I didn't know how to put things into place. So now that you have the tools necessary, and you have the capabilities as well, you're now in a place to be able to do those things. So let's get going. We are going to dive right into it. So what is, again, the 90-day money plan? It is the ideal that within 90 days, we are picking one financial goal to attain to, and we are attacking it. We are either saving money, we are either paying down debt, we are either, investing in some resources, or we're saving, paying down debt, investing resources, or updating our budget, making more space in our budget for us to be able to move freely and a little bit further. So why 90 days? 90 days works for the progress, for you to be able to actually see and identify what it is that you're doing. If you just do it 1 month, yes, it's good you've done it 1 month, but then you don't really feel the longevity of it. So by taking it from 1 month to 2 months to 3 months, you're also able to see the consistency and discipline that you're also building within yourself. And one of the things that I've realized within myself lately is that, oh, I need to be more disciplined. I need to be more disciplined. When in reality, I just have to continue doing the hard thing when I don't want to do it. That's the true intent behind being disciplined. Is, yeah, like I can pick up the task or I can do it when I want to do it, but the idea comes when I don't want to do it. When this no longer makes me feel good in the moment, how do I have the courage and willpower to still do it? So by taking this over a period of time of 90 days, it gives you the idea to build that discipline within yourself. You also gain a better understanding of how you are mentally, because money is a big product in our life, and it does matter a lot. So whenever we take the time to fully focus and hone in on what it is that our money is doing for us and how we can make better financial decisions for ourselves, it makes things a little bit easier when it comes to building discipline in other areas. Because I know if I can save money, on a consistent basis, then I can do just about anything. If I can pay down my debt within a specific time frame that I allot for myself, then I got it. So that's why we're doing this. It also is short enough time to where you stay focused. So 90 days, as we know, 3 months. So it's not something to where we're being overwhelmed with the idea that we have to wait all year to see if this really works for us. It gives us enough time to be able to commit to it, to be able to see what disciplines or what tasks and actions that we can be disciplined regarding, but it also is short enough to where we don't lose focus on it. Whenever we set those year-long goals, by the first month, we're typically tapped out because that's too much of a time frame to actually feel the longevity of what's taking place. And honestly, this year, I've started planning my life by quarters. So whenever Q1 started, I knew certain days I wanted to do X, Y, Z. My birthday is in March, and it's coming up. Happy birthday to me. But my birthday in January, I knew that I wanted to have a 5K for my birthday. I knew that I was going to do a High Rocks competition week of my birthday. These are things that I already had planned because I need to be financially aware and comfortable with the things that I have coming up so that I can save for them, so that I can allot the unnecessary funds to be able to allocate these things. So when it comes to Q4 or Q2, I'm in a place where I have my April pretty much booked out. I have my May date set in stone of the things that I may or may not do. I have June tentatives lined up. So I have things that I'm aware of. So with you knowing exactly what your month should look like, it also gives you the availability in the actualization of how to plan accordingly. Whenever you go month by month with the I don't knows, it leaves too much room for error, too much room for overspending, too much room for things to just happen. And we want to stop the idea of allowing things to just happen. We want to be in a place where we're directing things in our life, where we're putting things into place to where we know that they're happening, and they're happening for said purpose. So I hope that was a good enough explanation. However, let's dive right on into the 90-day framework. So I will also post a worksheet that I believe will be helpful for you guys in creating your money plans, and I hope that you do share that as well so that I can see, how this is working for you and how things are going. So the goal is for us to be, again, community, to work with one another, to also help one another, because someone may have a goal similar to yours that you may have advice on. And the purpose of this platform is for us to be able to talk fluidly to one another about our finances and what things do and don't work for us. And while we do live different lives and our financial situations are different, community is the best way to be able to build and grow upon those things. So with the 90-day framework, we are choosing one primary goal, one goal. As I mentioned earlier, it can be to save, it can be to invest, it can be to pay down a debt, it can be any of those things. Or it could be something else. Whatever your financial goal may be that you are looking to focus on within these 90 days, you will select that. So for example's sake, I'm going to say I want to save $3,000 for an emergency fund. After you set those primary goals, you now set 2 supporting habits. The supporting habits are things that are going to assist you with helping you attain and reach that goal. Obviously, because this is a monetary goal, we would need one of our supporting habits to be a financial aspect. How are we going to reach this goal? So we break it down by, if we have $3,000 over a 90-day period, which would mean that you're getting, possibly you would need to save ideally $1,000 a month. If you're getting paid by week or weekly, you would save $250 every week. If you're getting saved bi-weekly, you'd save $50 every paycheck. If you're getting paid monthly, then you would just ideally save $1,000 for the month. And so with that, you're setting that one financial habit. And I would suggest having that habit be automated. That way you take the thought process out of it and you just allow the automation to take place. That is something that, and people sleep so much on the idea of automation. I know we want to be in control of our finances and make sure we have the money there. But whenever you have financial goals like this, the money's going to come out before you decide to do anything else. Your goal is always to ensure that the things that you have on automation have access of your funds within anything else. Unless an emergency comes up, then you can move a date or anything of that nature. However, when you automate something, the goal is for that to be able to come out when it needs to come out and when it's supposed to, without any hesitation and without any cancellation. So the idea is to put it in place, something that you know that you can do, something that you know that you're willing to be able to sacrifice for these 90 days. And the second habit, something that is going to support the idea. So in order for you to be able to save $500 per paycheck or bi-weekly, or $250 per paycheck on a weekly basis, you have to possibly eliminate some things. So in the event that in your budget there's not any space for you to save $250 every week, or if it's not a space for you to save $1,000 within a month, you have to either reassess your goal and determine what is it that you really want to do, or you need to make some sacrifices on the back end. So what I would suggest, or for me personally, my second habit would be no eating out Monday through Thursday. If I'm someone who orders out all the time, now I have to go grocery shopping. If I'm someone who goes shopping all the time, we're not doing that. And one of the things for me is I'm having no spend months. So I will give myself one day a week to spend money that is not on a bill. And so starting in April, the goal is to have no spend months. And the idea behind that is because I'm being consistent and disciplined with my finances, and I'm making the knowledgeable and, how do I say this? The knowledgeable and most appropriate decision for my money. If I know that when the weekends come, I'm ready to swipe my card, I'm ready to spend some money, I'm setting no spend months in place because I only have one day of spending. So that means if I happen to need a new eyelash curler because my current one broke, I'm going to wait until a couple more things come into place so that I can make that one day of transactions. That way I don't have a transaction on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because something came up on each one of these days and I decided to attack those events or attack those things when they came. I was able to wait. And whenever you wait also is the delayed gratification mindset. If I don't need this right now in this moment, am I going to need it next week? Am I going to need it when I give myself the availability and a day to spend? Does this make the most sense right now? So for me, that works. And if that doesn't work for you, then the idea would be to find something else that could assist with supporting your habit. So we have habit number one is going to be the financial thing. We're going to automate this because the goal is to be able to pay down debt, save money, or save towards investments, or put money into your investments for your future. These are your three goals, or choose one of those. However, when it comes to making that goal attainable, we now have to put a number behind it. So break that number that you're looking to utilize, break it down. Our goal was $3,000 to have saved. And the way that we can save $3,000 is either by saving $1,000 a month, $500 bi-weekly, or $250 every week. And by doing that, we need a habit that's going to support that goal of being able to save that amount of money on a weekly basis. Am I here? Okay. We need to be able to find a goal. We need to be able to find habits to support that goal. If when you initially look in your budget and you do not have that $1,000 already there to save, then now we need to look at how do we get to that $1,000, which is going to be your supporting habit number two. What are you going to do and or sacrifice, because that's daily what it is. What are you going to sacrifice for 3 months to be able to get you to be able to save that $1,000 on a monthly basis? What is it that you are going to be able to let go of for the 90 days to be able to get you to that $1,000 on a monthly basis? So whenever you've put into place what your Habits are, which is first, again, identifying the amount that we need to save, and then two, a supporting habit to be able to do those things. And the reason why we're doing the two supporting habits is because we don't have 10 things in place. It's just two consistent ones. We're not picking 10 random things to be able to work through. We're choosing two consistent things. One, we know the dollar amount that needs to be saved on a monthly basis, bi-weekly basis, or weekly basis. Number two is that we are figuring out how to support that first habit. How are we going to get to that number? How are we going to attain that? And this also works because we're building structure. We're building structure, we're building discipline. Because whenever you're willing to sacrifice something for the greater good, which would be for you to be able to save, pay down debt, or yield investments, you are building towards something greater. So you're saving towards your future. You're paying down your debt so that you no longer have all these debts laying around, and you're investing for the longevity of your livelihood to be able to have money in the future. And it also creates margin by being able to have that supporting habit, where there be no spend months, where there be no eating out, where there be no going out. Whatever the case is, whatever the thing is that you may want to eliminate for that set time period, that really helps because it puts you in a place of like truly understanding and planning, putting that plan into place to know what it is that you can and cannot do for that time frame. And it's not saying that you'll never be able to do it, but when it comes to money, you have to play big sometimes, and that means letting go of the things that look good last quarter to make your finances look even better this quarter. And so that's step two. It's pretty much choosing your goal, choosing your two supporting habits, and nextly we are going to plan for obstacles. So this sounds like, oh, this doesn't really matter, but no, the idea behind this one is truly when you plan for an obstacle, you are setting yourself up for success. Because as I've said before and on many lives before, life tends to happen. And what an obstacle could look like is, what if a car repair comes? What if some random spending comes about? What if your child gets sick? What if you have an emotional weekend and end up spending? Plan ahead for those things. If an unexpected expense happens, and I'm going to share this quote for you also as well. If this unexpected expense happens, I will lower the weekly savings amount temporarily instead of stopping completely. So the idea is not to negate the goal that we have in mind, but to adjust it for the unexpected expense that occurred. And I know sometimes we're like, oh, and I know I'm one of those people. When we're on a straight and narrow, we're on a path, we're going, and something happens. We're like, oh dang, I can't do it no more because this thing happened. No, just because that thing happened does not mean that you have to give up completely. You pivot, and I say pivot a lot in my videos because that is what finances are. It's pivoting. If something didn't work initially based on the idea that you had planned and written down and worked out, you pivot. You make those necessary adjustments to be able to still continue building that habit and working towards that discipline. And that's one of the main primary things in this whole 90-day process is if an unexpected thing, a babysitter comes up, your child gets sick, your car goes bad, you have to take a random trip, you have to do something that you did not plan for within these 90 days. I do not want you to quit your 90-day plan. I want you to pivot, adjust, and adapt. What that looks like is, if initially, again, the goal was to save $3,000 in 3 months. We're on month one. We saved our $1,000. When it comes to month two, my car needed $200. So because I had to utilize $200 for that car, I now need to adjust it. So now that I can't save $1,000 this month, can I still save $800? Do I still have the bandwidth to be able to save $800? And if I do, then I'm going to continue saving as necessary. I'm going to adjust my automated savings to where it does not pull out the full $1,000 for the month of May, that it now pulls out $800. So I'm not giving up on my plan. I'm just adjusting it for the things that life has thrown at me. And that's perfectly fine. We have to be willing to give up some of those things sometimes to be able to get towards the greater good. Again, you do not stop. You do not stop or stall. You pivot. You move around it. This thing happened. I now have to continue going on with life. Things happen all the time. That does not mean that you have to stop and wallow in it and be like, oh no, this happened to me, so I can't do what I set out to do. No. You pivot, adjust, and adapt. We're here now, so let's keep it pushing. And if something happens to come up again in May, that's perfectly fine. Now we pivot once more. Pivoting is something that's going to happen when it comes to your finances. Every month does not look the same, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to be willing to identify what this month may look like for you. Like I said earlier, I personally am now planning and living my life on a quarterly basis. I know what activities I'm going to and what money I've allotted for that. I know what things I have set out and what money I've allotted for that. However, as I know, things may come up, and they will. If something is to throw me off of that habit that I'm creating, then I try to take time, take that blow personally, and then adjust my schedule, adjust my finances, adjust things that are needed so that I can continue going on the path that I have. Because like I said in the beginning, this is something that's going to get you further, either by paying the debt off, by saving the money, or by investing in your future. Whatever it is, you're going to be further than you started the month out at, the quarter out at, or even ended last year at. So the goal is to keep going, keep producing those good habits. Allow those habits to make you feel good. And if you're not feeling good about them, you need to do an internal system to see, why doesn't this feel good? What does this make me feel like? And if you have a bad habit with money, that could also be something that's possibly making you not feel good about the ideal or the habit that you're creating in the moment. And lastly, we are going to set for weekly check-in systems. I do money resets on Sundays. So every Sunday I am checking all of my bank accounts, all of them. I am referencing it with my checkbook that I have on my phone to ensure that my checkbook balance aligns with my bank account balance. And if those balances don't align, I need to know why. I also have a personal thing to where I try not to spend money on Sundays, because when you spend money on Sundays, it lingers over into like Monday and Tuesday, so it typically takes 2 to 3 days to post. If I'm doing a budget update or a budget reset or a budget allocation on a Sunday, I now have pending transactions that I have to wait for to see what they posted at. But lucky for me, I also utilize the checkbook app to where I input my expenses first, and then I can just follow up on Monday or Tuesday to see what it did post as. However, if that's not something that you utilize, then you'll need to be able to kind of like have a system in place to where you're able to check your balance on a regular basis. Within your weekly reset, you need to check your balance, either check the balance for the amount that you've paid off, check the savings balance, check your investment balance, whatever it is. Confirm that the automations are still in place based on the automation that you initially set up. And adjust if needed. This is the time to review your expenses based on your budget and decipher, oh, I did have this unexpected expense. I may not be able to save the full $250 this week. Now I need to save $50, whatever the case may be. Whenever you do your budget reset, either it be on Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday, that is your time to make any adjustments going forward before your next paycheck. And so when we, just to, how can I say this, refresh, we are going to choose one primary goal, state that goal. Our goal is to save $3,000 for emergency savings. We are going to choose 2 primary supporting habits. Our first supporting habit is to set an automation of the amount that we're going to save either on a monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly basis. Once we've identified what that amount is that we want to save, we are now going to move on to creating a supporting habit. That supporting habit of what we're saving is going to assist us in getting there sooner and or faster, or it's going to just assist us in getting there. So that supporting habit is going to either be no spend weeks, no spend days, no spend months, not eating out for a week, not buying clothes for a couple weeks, not buying things that are not necessities. Whatever that looks like for you to be able to reach the financial goal that you set in place to save on that basis is what you're going to put into place. We are also going to plan for obstacles. Have an obstacle in place. If you know, actually, this is how we plan for obstacles. Take a look at everything that took place last quarter and think about everything that randomly came up. Write that down. How much did that cost you? Was it time or was it money? Write those things down and have a safekeeping of knowing that these things can come up. And when these things do come up, I will not stop and or halt my 90-day plan. I will pivot and adjust my plan accordingly. I will make the adjustments to be able to move the amount that I need to be able to still reach my goal. And if that means that 1 week you're not saving or one paycheck you're unable to save, that's perfectly fine. You still have additional weeks to come because we have 90 days to get this done. So that's also it. And then lastly, we are setting up a weekly check-in system. Your weekly system is going to consist of checking your balances for either your debts, savings, or investment accounts, confirming that the automation is still set up, and then identifying if there are any adjustments that need to be made. This typically should take you no more than 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how many bank accounts that you have, to be able to review and refresh everything. So, what this comes into place is you're creating an identity shift. So you're stopping saying that I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if this works for me. And you're moving to the idea of I'm executing. I am doing this. This is being done because I have things in place to get this done. So I pray and hope that this was something that could be utilized, that could help when we're going into this new quarter. Q2 is coming up, and I want us to all be successful and financially independent, financially free of all our burdens. Save as much as we can, invest as much as we can, and move forward with life without having to harp on the things that happened in the past. Every day is a new day to be great, and today we're going to be great. With that, I say I'm going to post the 90-day obstacle worksheet that I created for you all. I'm going to also fill it out myself, and I'm also going to request that if you can, post what your 90-day focus is in the group, because I would like for us to be able to hold one another accountable by utilizing each other as checks and balances and resources. If you say that your check-in date is on a Sunday, I want to be able to check in on Sunday like, hey, how did you do? Did we make any pivots? Did we make any adjustments? Are we on track? Whatever that looks like for you, I want to ensure that we are moving in the appropriate direction. What also I want to notice, or what I want to indicate, is that we didn't say that I'm trying and I'm going to be better. It's not about being better and or trying. This is actually about doing. We're putting the plan in place to execute it. We are executing this 90-day plan. I'm giving you guys, today is the 26th, so that means we have about 5 more days before the month is over, which means that you have 5 days to figure out what your 90-day plan is going to look like, and we are starting fresh on April 1st with our 90-day money plan. So I hope you have a great day, and if there are any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the chat. Have a great day.